What do you do if you like somebody? Well, you ask them out on a date, you date them, and then eventually you marry them. But what do you do if you like a crypto token? Because you shouldn't marry your bags, right? Well, I've got a solution and I'll show it to you right now. And this is it. It is using Meteora and up to 1,400 bins in order to provide liquidity and have a massive amount of range. So before I show you how to do that exactly, let's work out a token that I like, and I promise that will be the last time I say like. Okay, Pengu versus USDT. Did a video basically going over the top 14 altcoins that you want to look out for. That'll be linked above. You can check that out. But in the meantime, this chart, it looks pretty good. It had a strong launch. It came on down and then it came on up again. And now there's a small amount of a correction. It's currently just under 4 cents. So what we can do is we can apply the fib. The fib tool is magical. It's essentially at all-time highs because we have to ignore the first wick whenever a token launches normally. Let's go ahead and grab our fib tool. Come over here, grab this fib retracement, turn on the magnet, come basically from the top and all the way to when it kind of started, something like that. We could use this here as well because it's basically the same, but this was the last move. And during this move, it went crazy. And in just 4 weeks, it basically came from here and it did a 400% increase in just maybe around about a month or so. And this gives us the levels and the fibs on where we could bounce from. And if you want to day trade this, or if you want to trade this in any form, you'd watch for these different levels, especially if it holds 0.5, it could bounce up further. But that's a lot of work. And you're a busy person, I would imagine. So what we could do is we could work out what would it take for us to move all the way down, just retrace all these gains. Now remember, this is for high conviction tokens, in my opinion. And it's a longer term horizon that I've got for this. It's got the benefits of getting MET points and fees, helping a project by providing liquidity, and it has massive upside goals. This is a move of 80% down, which is fine. We can do that comfortably with what we want to do. Now we could quite easily go from this level here all the way up to this fib here, which is 357%. However, if we have a look at the market cap, go and grab the fib, come from the high all the way down to the low and extend it up. And you can see at this point, it's only an $8.5 billion market cap. And for something like Pudgy Penguins, this is not financial advice, but we could go certainly significantly higher than that. So you could potentially see it go higher and higher than this. And I don't think it is too impossible to literally go, and I know this is starting to be euphoric, and I'm doing a lot of scrolling right now, but to go to around $50 billion, which would be absolutely crazy. Basically, it is not impossible to go up 17x from this level. And we'll do this all in Meteora and open a massive amount of positions. But first, we need to grab some Pengu. Now, the way that I'll be doing this is I'm going to be going with USDC and Pengu. And the reason for that is basically because if we type in Pengu, there's more liquidity in USDC and Pengu. And also, this token is like an Ethereum and Solana token in a sense. So people that are coming across from Ethereum might be more keen on the idea of just buying it with USDC as opposed to deploying Sol. And because there's more TVL here compared to Sol, it's also easier to work out in terms of profitability because if the price of Sol changes, that's one thing. And I do think Sol would do well. But if Pengu changes, well, USDC isn't really. It's going to get a little bit less valuable. Next, we'll go and choose what pool we want to go into after we've gone and got some tokens. All I've got here, unfortunately, is like $936. So I'm going to go and take like 700 of this and go and swap it for 18,000 Pengu and approve. That's all good. And we'll jump into this. Now, most of the liquidity is in this 400 bin step with a fee of 1%, which is fine. But I would like to go for something lower and just produce more bins. But before I show you that, let me just show you. If we click on this and if we add some liquidity, we can just turn on autofill for the sake of it and just do half-half. And you can see we've got some decent price movement up here, but we are in this 400 bin step, and it doesn't tend to get that much volume actually coming through it, in my experience. It's more kind of used for like arbitrage bots and whatnot. That's just my experience, and I might not be completely spot on there. But what I do think would be better is jumping to something where we can see a lot more volume goes through, because you can see that clearly. More volume's coming through here. More fees have been generated in this one. You could also go with something like this that has a lower fee and just rely on getting more and more fees to go through it. However, it's slightly not as good in terms of yield. And if we have a look at 24-hour fee, you can see that the 1% pool right here is doing better. So I want to go with this one, to be perfectly honest. We'll jump into this one. We'll go and add our liquidity. Going to turn off autofill. I'm going to go add max here and max here. Go big, go home. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select the text and I'm going to go minus 80%. And then I'm going to tab and I'm going to take this up all the way to like proper highs. I don't need to get the proper high, but let's see if we can do 1700%. And you can see we still have plenty of bin space available. We can go up to 1400 bins. And this means as the price goes higher and higher, we can sell more and more Pengu. More and more gets sold perfectly, and we'll be selling heaps of Pengu up here. However, you'll notice down here that we have to pay quite a bit of SOL in order to open this. And that's okay because we've got a little bit of SOL in this wallet. And of course, as long as the position is open, we're fine. And when we close it, we'll get back most of it. But some of it is actually not refundable. And that's because no one's actually opened bins that high before. No one is front running what we want to do. So if we change this to say going up just 800%, you'll see that there's nothing else to pay because somebody has already actually opened up a massive amount of bins to the upside. But like I said, I want to go high. I want to have a little bit of Pengu right up there, potentially ready to be sold. Now, at this price point, because there isn't a crazy amount of Pengu that I've actually deployed, it's like $1,000 position. You can see down here, we've got 144 Pengu, and it gets less and less and less, but it stays the same in terms of dollar value. And then we get right up to the top here, and we're actually only at 68 cents. And I think it could still go higher, but that's fine by me. At this point, we are selling every token for 66 or so cents, and then we're generating all the fees along the way. Also, if the price goes lower, we've got like $1.16 in each pool, which is fine, nothing crazy. That's fine by me. It's going to generate a little bit of yield as it moves up and moves down, and moves up and moves down. Now, this is not going to get a huge amount of fees for you because, well, like you've got like $1.15 in each pool. So it could be quite volatile, and that's all you're trading with. But this is a set it and forget it kind of system. And it's going to generate a little bit of fees, which you could potentially claim and then put back into the pool maybe every week, something like that, and then just compound it. And as the price moves up, maybe touches the fib level, comes on down further, rebounds, comes up, comes down, whatever. As that happens, you'll generate more and more fees, more and more MET points, but also it's set it and forget it. You will potentially come close to outperforming what you would have actually got compared to if you just held it. So next step, add liquidity. You'll see here that there is a chance that the transactions don't go through. The way I've got this set, I've got some settings like this. You don't have to go this high, but I've got it like that. It will be using up to this amount of SOL in order to actually make that position happen. But that's not going to happen very often. It's only when there's a lot of users using Solana at the same time. Now, unfortunately, we can't really see what's happening with our wallet because of the fact that this is a complex simulation and Solflare doesn't actually simulate it, and I don't think any major wallet would. So we'll prove that, let them all go in, and down here in the left, you can see it says adding liquidity. So it'll take maybe 20 seconds or up to 20 seconds for everything to go in. And if it doesn't all go in, then we'll have to retry. Okay, we've got this error now, so this is good. We'll retry failed transactions, and we'll see if we actually have enough to actually make that happen. Let's give it another go. And just as a side note, you can see it says exactly how much SOL you need to create the position. So it's a sizable position, but remember, you get the vast majority of that SOL back. The only downside is the SOL has not been staked, and you might keep this position open for like 6 months or something quite substantial. We are now good. We have $938 worth of liquidity there. We've already earned a minute amount of Pengu, which is fantastic, and nothing earned on USDC thus far. We've got a huge amount of upside with Pengu going higher, all the way up to almost 70 cents. And if the price dips down like really, really low, it's currently around 4 cents. If it goes significantly down to less than a cent, then we'll be buying here as well. So that's how you do that. Remember, your advantages with this is you don't have to watch the chart. If you've got conviction, if you think it's going to go higher, but it could go lower, you're capturing to both sides. You're getting MET points at the same time, and you're providing liquidity. And providing liquidity for a project that you like is always very, very good. Plus, if it does reach price discovery and it achieves price discovery just on some crazy news, then you already have a position open. Maybe it takes a few minutes for market makers to come in and start providing liquidity, and it gives you a little bit of advantage to generate a few fees when Pengu randomly goes up to 50 cents and everyone wasn't expecting it to do that, or something along those lines. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out this other video on top altcoins, because this goes over why I think Pengu is really, really hot.